Oops. I just jumped into the air. I'm going to go and get an unknown signal. But I jumped into the air and forgot that I didn't have my jetpack switched on.
Now here's my problem with the unknown signals.
Uh-huh.
When do they become known?
As soon as you press the button.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. Oh, this is one of those that flies away. Damn it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those get aggravating after a while. It looks like I reached the bottom of my well, and I ran out. I have no silver.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to move my well.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Did you just let it tumble down the hill?
I've run out of jetpack fuel.
Oh, that.
Oops.
She's stranded now.
Oh.
I take immense
That's
delight in
not
that.
So, yes, now I've got to...
For shame.
I'm so close to this thing, though. I might as well get it. But it's only got 8 minutes left.
Well, maybe you're
Well, that is the
lucky.
trick, is to get it
And it
before
has a
it's
hydrogen
used.
bottle in it.
I don't think they actually do spawn with hydrogen bottles, because it would be such a great boon early in the game to be able to get another bottle.
Okay, I've destroyed its hydrogen thruster, so it should stay. I got a badger
Oh, you just had a
welder.
hydrogen thruster?
Yeah, this one that's the flying one.
That was probably an atmospheric thruster cell.
Oh, okay.
Chat will probably tell you in a moment. They have a thing for correcting people when they're wrong.
Mia has a thing for not being corrected when he's wrong. I don't mind.
Well, I know that there is a... I could have swore that there's at least one of the long-range ones that has something similar to a hydrogen thruster on it. But I thought the one that appears on the planets are always the ones with the atmospheric jump thing.
We did get some extra metal grids out of that. But I'm nearly out of inventory space.
Do you need me to come over and help you?
Oh, there's only a couple of bits of grid left.
Did you forget to scroll to the bottom of the restream chat?
Of chat? Oh.
Because I don't see anything moving over there. Not that I'm criticising you.
Chat. Let's have a look. New messages. Oh, hello.
How much did we miss?
Terry says 4 episodes in 1 day. Amazing. Bernie says 172. Terry said, didn't you have another badger tool? Got the badger drill. So this is the first badger welder. Terry says, if Mia would stop playing Lego for 2 minutes, he could fly to sell with a spare hydrogen bottle.
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
just
I'm definitely at the bottom of chat now.
suggesting, but Sal seemingly doesn't want
And
to.
I will be right back.
I'm only 2 kilometers away, so I don't mind just running back.
Oh, well, fine. It's your choice.
In fact, I'll get my drill out. You never know, I might just see something on the way. So I'm not sure if Eiscing mentioned it off camera or on camera, but yeah, Eiscing's just having some food delivered.
I don't remember him mentioning that at all.
Don't you?
No, I no, maybe I wasn't listening. Is the proper refinery more efficient in terms of output?
Yes.
Yeah.
The proper refinery will give you more stuff per ore loaded.
Does the same count for stone?
I imagine so.
Ooh, well, in that case, I shall slowly phase out using the refinery over here at the base and moving stuff over to the proper one.
That would make sense. Do you want to take the ice, Mia?
I would need you to stop running so I can switch. Thank you. Welcome
Okay.
back to the Mere Show. Sal has made a terrible mistake putting me in charge because this is going to be pretty boring. I'm just drilling. Somehow we ran out of stuff.
Oh, okay. I'll take the ice because I am at least walking through scenery. Terry says he could do with a pizza. Pizza.
Isn't it like 10 in the evening? No, almost midnight. It's midnight already.
I know.
Luckily, there are pizza delivery places that do deliver at midnight.
Indeed.
Don't start me on calzones again, please.
Yeah, you can't get a decent calzone at this time of night.
You can't.
And we never think to order a calzone during the day.
Well, usually it's just stream chat that gets these really dumb ideas.
Bernie's just had a burger from Burger King. Luckily, not McDonald's. Oh, so controversial. What do people think about the idea of a not meat Burger King burger?
What the hell isn't...
Isn't that essentially what McDonald's was doing for years and years and years?
You mean with the fish mac?
No, with the soy burger.
They have a soy burger
was,
at McDonald's?
There was rumors going around for years that like 90% of a McDonald's quote unquote hamburger was actually made of soy,
Oh.
and that you were either getting very little or no meat for a couple of years there. It was interesting.
Well, if they did, they seasoned their cardboard pretty well with some pickles.
They
Really-
did. They did
Really, the
indeed.
pickle was the only good thing about a cheeseburger at McDonald's. Maybe the cheese, but, you know, not from a healthy perspective, more from a, self-indulgent cheese perspective.
True. But I have the best reason for America, and that is delivery, because we don't need to do DiGiorno.
Well, as long as you're living in a larger European city, you usually can get anything delivered at any time of the day, too.
Oops.
Sure, your choices diminish slightly the closer you get to night time, but you can still always order something at any time of the day.
Yeah, they're still not quite up to that here. Although I'm not exactly in a big city, I'm more of in a suburb.
Fair point.
So mine's, and it's a very limited choice still. But
I think what the Americans miss out on that we have is getting groceries delivered. That's something that
actually,
have you got that now?
Speaking of that, we have something called it's only for some areas, and it's very dependent on where you live. But yes, we have something called what was it? You actually have a couple of choices. You can do car pickup now at some grocery stores.
Yeah.
Or you can do flat out delivery, and then we have the Amazon, where they will deliver like dry goods on a regular basis or on a automatic reorder and all that. So yes, we do have some. It's not widespread
That's
completely
getting
yet,
somewhere.
but they're getting there.
Yeah. I think must be maybe about 10 years now we've had all of the major grocery chains will deliver pretty much anywhere in the mainland UK, and they'll deliver anything. And they don't just deliver it to your door, they deliver it to your kitchen.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that's impressive.
So you choose your time slot, and you place your order from the website. You can choose to pick it up if you want to, but yeah, they come with your groceries on a trolley, and you and then you tell them where you want them to drop it off, and yeah, they will drop it off in your kitchen for you if that's where you want them to go.
Yeah, although usually I try to save them time by telling them, okay, just dump it on the floor here by the door so you can get going more quickly. I've worked in delivery for quite a few years. I know
prefers them not to come into the kitchen. And plus, like, they'd have to manoeuvre past sort of the computers and things. The kitchen is off the back of the gaming room.
You're trying to undermine my altruistic notion behind this, where I'm trying to save these people time.
Yeah. Terry says McDonald's uses a plastic cheese. Yeah, it's not proper cheese, is it? And Amazon does grocery delivery in the UK as well. I've never used Amazon for grocery delivery. Does it come in a parcel like your other Amazon deliveries?
Yeah, I believe so. I've never actually done the whole delivery thing because I end up going out and just getting my my groceries, or the roommate gets the groceries because that's part of the deal.
Yeah. That was always one of those jobs I really don't like. I used to always do my grocery shopping at sort of between about 11 and midnight, because in the cities the grocery stores are 24 hours. And I'd always much prefer coming out in the middle of the night to go grocery shopping rather than, like, you know, fighting the crowds and the kids and all that sort of thing.
Sal's fighting kids.
Not day in, day out.
Yet.
But on a regular basis.
Yeah. Terry says, I haven't tried Amazon, I use Waitrose. We used Waitrose until Waitrose stopped doing a particular type of cheese that I like. Oh, why can't I pick stuff out of there?
Because
how fancy is your cheese?
It's the Philadelphia spicy chili cheese, which is this one. It's one of those special Philadelphia soft cheese ones that they don't always have in every shop.
It's like one of those manufactured, not proper cheeses.
Yeah, but someplace like Tesco.
It's a bad American cheese.
Yeah, but it's a particular flavour.
Chili.
It's a sweet chili that I've only found in a few stores.
If we want to have fancy cheese, we visit the cheese guy in the cheese tent that he only sets up once per year.
Oh, yeah.
He's a small, bald guy with a bit of a mustache. Not sure if he kisses the cheese, but I'd like to imagine he does.
So we do have things like farmers markets and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the cheese tent only comes once every year. As part of the food festival.
Once a year.
Yeah, the part of the food festival. I'm
Oh
sure
my
you
God.
can buy his cheese somewhere else, but I've only seen him in the small tent. It looks very ominous, and that's part of the buying thing that I do there. I need to have
the
this
artisan cheese.
Yeah.
No, I just need the mystery of him sitting in a dark tent trying to sell me tiny cheese wheels.
This sounds a lot like the Renaissance Festival that we have, where we have various people come up from nowhere, and yeah, it kind of sounds kind of similar to that. It's a little unusual the first time or two.
I think that's a fair assessment, yeah.
Oh, I didn't find
I don't
anything.
know if you have been aware of the Renaissance festivals here. I used to live right next to a fairly large one.
Doesn't Spidey regularly visit those?
I think so. Isn't the Renaissance festivals, they're like historically themed?
Usually they can be. Not all of them are. Matter of fact, quite a few of them are not. But a few of them are actually semi-fantasy.
Oh, right. I think that sounds like a really good idea.
It sounds like a dress-up grocery shopping trip.
Yeah. Which
I'm in
least-
favour.
Yeah.
I'm in favour of that.
But But hang on, here's the best part. At least the one that I used to go to, or usually go to, is actually allowed to serve alcohol.
Oh,
and on
yeah.
certain weekends, they sell a mug, and you can go to each of the beer vendors and get all of the beer. Try all of the beer, one mug at a time.
That does sound fantastic for somebody who wouldn't be teetotal.
Yeah, me as teetotal. So our Christmas markets do the mug thing. The farm.
Okay.
Most of the things like the farmers markets and stuff like that do have alcohol stores, but they tend to be artisan beers or microbreweries or gin sampling things, that sort of stuff.
Yep, that's the same kind of thing that they have going on. It's all usually there's a lot of mead that they do, honey mead, cherry wines, a lot of specialty, a lot of local stuff like that. It's almost like a yearly farmers market where people have the chance to actually make things.
Yeah, that's it with ours. I'm pretty sure we get food festivals all through from spring to autumn, and then there's the Christmas markets over Christmas. But the cheese stall that Mia likes so much only comes during one particular food festival
In autumn.
Mm-hmm.
That's not very nice.
No, it's fine.
Then again, here we very rarely have something that nice.
The scarcity of him being around, the rarity of his presence, actually adds to the taste. If I could get this sort of cheese.
Have we got a cargo container in here, Mia?
Yes, we do.
Where is it? You've put my welder in here.
There in the ceiling. A little bit to the right, left, left, there.
Aha.
The other one. If you click on the box icon... No, that's the same one. But if you click on the box icon...
Are they connected?
Yeah,
okay.
they're connected. Speaking about connections, if you're terribly bored, if you could carry everything over from the base over into one of those cargo containers here, and I'd be almost eternally grateful.
Certainly. Let me just grab my welder, and... We don't have... Oh, yes, can I do the...
No, they're not over there yet.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still moving.
That's okay.
Yep. So apparently the new version of OBS crashes a little bit more often.
Ah.
That's part of the fun.
Yes, it is.
Yes, Mia.
I mean, what kind of fun? But sure, let's go with that.
The developer's having fun.
Oh yes.
With you.
Laughing at us as we crash and burn.
I think that's the whole point behind Keen developing space engineers, really.
Terry says...
Well, that was the whole point of them crashing.
Terry says, I stick to mature cheddar, Stilton or brie for cheese. I would get stinking bishop, but I haven't found it anywhere online. He visits a weekly market somewhere in the Midlands where there was a stall where they were churning butter and selling their own cheeses. Bernie says, "Sell, scroll down." No, it wasn't that I hadn't scrolled down. It was just that I was not looking. Sorry.
So, anyway, that we've
I was
moved...
ignoring everybody.
I was.
She does that sometimes.
I do.
Usually she'd have me to re-chat out, but since she kind of conscripted me into playing the game myself, I kind of don't have the time to do so.
Indeed.
It's terrifying. Chat's probably feeling neglected.
Yeah, Bernie seems to be. He's giving me crying faces.
However...
I was to say, even though she forced you to play this game once again, has it met or exceeded the expectations compared to the last time you've played it?
I had expectations of disappointment. It met those, not exceeded them yet. I was well aware that this would happen.
So it has been absolutely terrible?
More or less, yes. Yes.
We lost our rover. Well, we're now on the fourth
Oh,
ship.
true. The
Yeah.
fourth? What happened to the other three?
Well, the first ship got removed by auto trash removal. The second ship was the rover, which just disintegrated. The third ship that we lost was the mining drill that I built to replace the ship that got replaced by auto trash removal, which was attached to the rover. And when the rover flipped over, it just, disintegrated as well.
Terry says he's getting a better quality of crashes. You can't deny that, Mia. The crashes are better quality.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want me to do anything in particular, or do you want me to go get silver? That was what you were asking me to do earlier.
Really, it's mining at the moment.
Mining
silver
which?
would be neato if we want to finish up the med bay.
Okay. I'll go get silver. Let me drop... I'm dropping my... Oh, are you deconstructing everything here?
Leave the welder in there. I'll move it over in a moment.
Okay. It's just I don't take my welder out when I'm going out mining, because it just takes up space. Excuse me. Silver mine. There it is. It would be nice if you could leave the hydrogen generator and survival kit out here. In fact, with that little cargo container would be nice. Because it's just it saves me from running into the ship when if I need to drop off stuff fast and like swapping over my hydrogen bottles and just coming for a recharge when I'm mining.
Yeah, I'll leave something along those lines over there.
I don't mind running in to drop off ore. So that, we're doing good stuff with it. We're getting the best out of it.
Like I said, I'll leave something along those lines over there, but I can't guarantee that it'll be the most fancy thing.
As long as it's something with a bit of inventory. But if you leave the hydrogen generator there so that the the ship doesn't suck up all of the ice.
It won't.
I was going to say, I ended up having to make my own cryopod on a separate conveyor system away from the rest of my ship and into a hydrogen generator.
Yeah.
And because the engines just consumed such a massive amount of hydrogen, it was impractical to keep refilling my ice.
Right.
Does the cryopod use up ice while idle?
I don't think so. As long as
Felt
you're off
like
the server.
It did.
It might use a little bit. Usually I think it's when you log in or log out or jump in and jump out, because it refills your hydrogen, your oxygen, your energy. So it does consume that to refill you.
Oh, say hello to Potato.
Hello, Potato.
Bernie says, look at Sal with all her demands. Indeed. Yeah, Potato says, sup butts, I'm back from work, yay!
Hip hip hooray, Potato. I read grave news about his existence. He might have died or something.
Inventory full.
That would be unfortunate.
Mightly. But, in his defense, it's my fault, I guess? Somehow? Something?
How did you manage
who
to
died?
kill Potato?
Well, Potato didn't die just yet, but I only glanced at it, but there might be something wrong with the fact that he can produce art with oil, and that's apparently toxic if it's done in a small room. Which is...
Then I won't say anything about how quickly I'm going to die according to my work.
My condolences. At least you're wearing a little clothes peg on your nose, I assume. That fixes it.
Nope, not even.
Okay, you're dead.
One of my friends
and
actually...
since the smell is already gone.
Yeah, one of my friends got... I can't remember what it was called. A disease where you get aluminium in your bloodstream. Because he was working in a museum. restoring old buses and trams. And he
Oh,
didn't work. He didn't wear the right protection
Respirator.
equipment. Yeah, and so he got aluminium in his bloodstream, and it used to cause him terrible pain with his joints, and he got lung cancer.
Yep, I'm almost guaranteed cancer.
dear.
9 times out of 10 where I work.
Wow.
Because of the chemicals that we work with. They're like, yeah, you'll probably die of cancer eventually, but at least you'll have fun doing it, right?
So what are you working as?
I work as a machinist.
Oh, my condolences.
Yep.
Then again,
And most of the,
machines are nice.
Machines can be nice. It's all the chemicals and fluids that we use that are not so nice to keep the machines from dying.
That's a fair point.
Let's just pick up this.
So in other words, we
unknown
take better
signal.
care of our machines than we do our people.
That's the case in almost all industries.
True.
I mean, we had a guy with an explosive briefcase walk by at work today. He only got to wear a blast helmet. The rest was just short-sleeved shirt, some cargo pants. The man would have died unless he was carrying the suitcase on his head.
Ooh, I've got an upgraded welder, mate.
Well, I mean, he was concentrating on the most important part, right? The brain.
Well,
Who needs
yes.
all the other organs or anything else?
I mean, suppose so, but...
I mean, don't we have machines now to replace those things? I mean, oh, that was an interesting noise.
Yeah, they happen accidentally quite a lot.
And let's see. Potato says, so give me a quick recap of what's happened while I was working.
Depression!
Potato says, I died. Bernie says, the rover disintegrated. And then he says, machines will kill us all.
Well, maybe he didn't die. I didn't read the message properly.
Terry points out that machines that create profit, staff are a cost.
True.
But staff is one of your 5 capitals. If you just know how to use them properly.
Stop bragging with your knowledge.
Like, an example of how to use your staff properly is you give them a task and you go home.
And then you come back for them to haunt them or something.
And then you come back and say, it's all right, May, you don't need to work any longer. And he says, hang on, I'm just in this argument with Angela.
She needs to die.
Use that staff, says Bernie.
Win, though.
So,
Isn't
yeah.
that the real question, though, Mir? Is did you win?
Well, no, she dragged me away.
Well, May was just getting into the argument.
That could have been a smart move on somebody's part.
I'm holding her bloody rooms hostage. She wants to have rooms from me, but first, before she can have them, I'll need to have all of her rooms.
Well, remember, isn't that the whole reason she rebelled against Boris? Is because she didn't get her rooms?
What? No, Angela doesn't
Oh, this is
know
Angela
Boris.
rather than me.
Okay.
I just put May in charge of the rooms.
At work. This is a different kind of work. Terrifying, really. It's a world that exists outside of space engineers and similar games.
Why would we want to do that? I mean, it's. Well, I have to work tomorrow, so I was gonna say it's Friday, but I still have to go in, so I don't get that lucky. However, I do get a lazy day. So.
We do this to fuel our addiction for... What are you eating? Soy
What?
burgers?
Oh yeah, the old McDonald's soy burgers.
I don't know what you're currently eating, but that basically.
I'm actually currently eating something that's even worse. We nickname it Taco Hell.
Taco Hell.
Oh, Taco Bell. Do you know, the only thing I like from Taco Bell is their breakfast burritos. Breakfast burrito. What's that, mate? It's on a rotor.
Yeah, I know, that's supposed to be there. Stop questioning it, please.
At Eiscing, you could have it worse. You could be trying to teach to people who don't want to be taught, like Mir eventually will.
I have my own minion below me, and let's just say that's probably what I'm currently doing.
And Potato asks, so that whole rover that they spent all that time and goodies on is now gone? Yeah.
See that? Hold on. Hello, welcome to the Mir view. You see this hole that I'm stuck in here? And you see this hole that's over here? Yeah, that's where we parked the rover because the rover decided, yeah, there's a tree, I'm gonna stop right here, but only halfway. The rest half, so the back half just stops, the front half keeps on going, the ship rips apart, flips over, and everything dies.
I don't think it had
It
anything
sounds
to
to
do
me
with
like-
the tree, though.
It might have. The trees can kind of occasionally, if you're.
Oh, just lost you there, Eiscing.
Did we lose him entirely?
I don't know. Well, he didn't go beep boop like you do when you drop out of Discord.
Ah, maybe he's dead.
At Potato, did someone clip the hilarious stuff? No,
Yes,
course
of
not.
course they clipped
Yes, of
it.
course they did. Yeah.
I
So-
believe I was muted for that.
Yes, you were.
How did he manage that, and why would you do it?
I don't know. I do it from time to time. Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with the tree, though, because you clipped it with a wheel. It wasn't like you ran straight into it head on.
That's an odd one.
Right,
No, I have
that's
a
fine.
controller on my mic, and it the controller happens to be very close to one of my arms, so it'll automatically mute me and the stream and whatever I'm listening to.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah, I really need to change back to my old headset, but same company, but I really like these cheap headsets and they work really well.
Right. Mir, have we got enough silver?
No, we don't.
Have you checked to see how much I've just dropped in there?
Oh, where did you drop that?
In the refinery.
Oh, I didn't check that refinery. I wasn't
Yeah.
aware. Hold on a second.
So do we have any kind of car at the moment for transportation, or are they still using their tiny body inventory to transport ore and parts?
We're currently stationary. Let me demonstrate. Welcome to Mountain Camp Scalable Pineapple, following on with the weird new bizarre naming scheme that we've developed, where we use a business buzzword along with an uncomfortable fruit. Think of an uncomfortable fruit, slap a word on that you'd use in a business context, and bam! Which brings us to our next wonder, the... What was this, Plum?
Shall I get nickel instead of
What
silver?
was the plum, Sal? That's important. A spaceship
It
that's supposed to lift us
the
off.
Capital
Plum. Well, this is the Capital Plum, our escape velocity catapult ship that's going to get us out of here. This is the final thing I'm built down here.
Right, I'll go,
Don't jinx it, please.
I'll go
Thank
get
you.
nickel. So what we do have, though, at this site, Potato, is we are very close to ice. So flying to and fro from things has become really easy. And we've got all the upgraded drills and things, so it's less of an issue now. Using tiny body parts isn't that restrictive. But yeah, this is the 4th ship that we're on. Hey, Guido. It says, interesting concept of naming.
Thank you, thank you.
What am I picking up there? Silicon, magnesium, and nickel. So, have we got enough silver, May? Have you checked?
I'm currently in the process of checking.
And how much nickel do we actually need?
We do have, I think we have a good amount of silver now. Next highest priority again on the list has fallen back to iron.
Okay, I shall dig stone. I haven't found an iron mine though. That's the only thing we're missing. It'd be nice if I could find just pure iron.
I found that the pure iron doesn't seem to give me that much more than the actual just stone.
Oh really?
So long as you can mine, because you can mine the stone in such a large quantity.
Yeah.
And with my drilling rig, which I believe you saw, I drill straight down, while all of the iron and whatnot will be in deposits that are parallel to the surface of the ground. So
Oh right.
you drill a hole and then you have to go out, and usually with the stone you can just, by the time you actually get to the iron, you have so much more stone than anything else. You know, the stone actually makes up for the lack of iron.
Right. So
Haven't actually.
Mia, here's a better name for the big ship, the downsized Durian. We should name that for something else. And Guido says, a little prosaic for you all. I expected better. Just kidding. Potato says, fourth. I remember the tiny driller that committed suicide, the large rover, but what's the third ship?
Oh yes, the third ship.
Missed that.
We had a private recording session with Boris, Almond, and Minty that we actually recorded rather than streamed, and during that session, I built a replacement for the needle miner, which was like a golden large needle miner, which was attached to the top of the rover. If you go back and watch the clip that somebody should have posted by now, I'm very disappointed in you, chat, you should be able to see that one. It was a very decent little ship, and it was fully charged too.
And we never ever used it as a miner. It took one short flight, which was to fly off the deck where we built it, to be connected to the connector on the top of the rover. And that was the sum total of its life.
It's a very short life.
It was. Potato says he's missed a lot. It wasn't that much. It all just happened very quickly. But our goal now, our aim, is to build this thing and just get off the planet, because this planet is cursed.
and Mars is just fine.
Have you got uranium on Mars?
I haven't found any yet, if there is.
I don't know
I
whether
doubt that there is.
Right. That's something I am really looking forward to, especially with the trash removal now being so very aggressive towards things that are not powered.
Yeah, that is that you pretty much must have power at all times.
Yeah.
I should have probably turned that off by now.
Yeah, it's fine.
If that is
We'll manage it
something,
somehow.
yeah, because we used to have trash removal, but it used to remove things like stones and bits of loose grid. It wasn't sort of 15 minutes and anything that's not nailed down goes.
Oh, 15 minutes.
Yeah. We had that when the
Well,
rover
no,
exploded.
No. Well, yeah, fair point. Some of the debris bits, like a broken connector that I temporarily used as a cargo container, disappeared while I was falling off from space to the planet. I died because I ran out of energy and we were sitting on a cold mountain. And when I respawned, I didn't get the option to spawn in a respawn pod. I automatically landed at the closest survival kit or med bay, which was the pirate platform orbiting the Al Moon, or the Mean. You are familiar with the Al Moon concept?
Pirate,
I might have.
wasn't it?
Almond declared it a pirate base.
Oh, did he? I thought he meant actual pirates.
No, he just meant his thing.
Also, Mia, when are you going to plaster the Season 5 Space Engineer videos with the drawing of a dead cell?
Yeah, give me a moment.
At Potato, they can cram a lot of crashes in a short time frame. And Bernie says, I just accidentally closed the stream, and when I reloaded it, it starts me muted now. Why, Twitch? Why would I want to look at the stream but not hear anything every time? Was that... Ooh, why am I got my jetpack on? Was that suitably dramatic, Bernie?
Where are you going?
I'm dropping the ore in here.
Okay. Have you seen your new thing?
Must admit, I didn't really pay attention. What have you built for me? It's a cargo container?
A hydrogen generator and a survival kit, as requested, but in small.
Nice.
Because I need the resources.
So why is it on a rotor?
Because it's a small ship, Grid, that needs to be powered.
Oh, I see.
Also, because
Yes,
it means
that
I
makes
can
sense.
do this. Do.
Okay, waiting for this
Keep doing
dramatic
it.
this.
Woo!
Oh, very nice.
No.
Yep, Mia is spinning the... I wonder if I can get a charge while you spin.
Probably. Woo!
What happens if I fly on top of it?
What
Hang
do
on,
you
let me-
think will happen?
I am going to guess that I will be able to... Oops, missed. Ah!
Surprised you haven't seen me stand on my drilling platform as it rotates.
No, I hadn't noticed that. I saw you drilling, but not while you were stood on it.
Yep.
And Guido says, yeah, that's a new feature of Twitch, muting streams you load or reload. Not sure why we needed it. Bernie said, because apparently we all exclusively watch porn streams now. And Terry says, like a 1980s game show. Are you going to give me a spin, Mir? Make chat dizzy. Oh, gosh. Okay, that's enough. I need to get some charge.
It even recharges your hydrogen.
Very nice. Is my
Where was
bottle
I?
full? Yes. Okay,
The much long suffering Mir.
indeed.
Yeah,
Trying to do all he can to please.
that's a permanent feature that doesn't really go away.
The long-suffering Mia. Mia's always long-suffering no matter what. Do you want to take the ice, Mia? Because I'm just mining.
Again.
You wanted me to mine?
Inventory.
I mean, yeah, fair point. Hello, welcome back to Mir. We're gonna sit in this cryopod for a minute. It's like a 1980s game show. Did somebody already read that out?
Yeah, I already that.
Oh, fine.
Potato says, I plan on making a vertical piston miner connected to my base. To it goes from drill right into the refinery.
Well, the
That
proper
is
idea.
essentially what I did.
Yeah, but here the proper idea is to build a budget adjacency or space butt, depending on your drill budget, where you basically create a mining ship that automatically refines and assembles on the go.
Yeah.
Ah, I miss the adjacency.
Yeah.
It
I
was a
had the
terrifying
sorters-
monster.
The sorters were all so nicely organised so that all of the gravel dropped out the back. I could decide when to drop the load of gravel, and it was such a nice ship. And it had over 100 drills on the front, I seem to remember. I do like a nice big drilling ship.
Drill ships are very, very nice.
There's something very cathartic about drilling, something relaxing, and not so much when you're drilling by hand because you only drill for a short minute, but yeah, when you're drilling in a drilling ship, Nice, especially when you're in space and gravity isn't a thing.
The thruster override. When we used to be able to eat through asteroids
Yeah.
using thruster over, just the barest amount of thruster override, just to continue pushing you through the asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was very nice.
So
All right.
we're planning on building like a giant drilling ship come caravan, but in the shape of a train. Well, at least this is my plan anyway, because we keep on losing our ship in space. I have a tendency to misplace my ships, so I'm going to call it the train of thought so that I can lose my train of thought.
Well, I was gonna say, I thought you were already well known for that.
Yeah, exactly. Potato says, my drill budget is too afraid to fly in gravity. Bernie says, Ice just described the drill dough on a Monday.
The space butt was actually
Monday.
capable of landing on the moon.
It was, yeah. We flew it down to the moon. But the space butt was very much like a drill dough. It was a long, thin, squarish, but well powered. I'm just trying to think. Was
That does indeed sound.
I think that was the first drilling ship that I'd made when planets were a thing, and I was very conscious that I like building giant ships, and there was now such a thing as gravity. So I put a huge amount of power in braking thrusters, so that if I got too close to a planet, I could stop extremely quickly. I think I had as much power, if not more power, going backwards than I did going forwards. So I could stop faster than I could accelerate. And it also meant that if I was heading into a gravity well, I could just point my bum out and then accelerate backwards. Spacebutt was Drildo Mark II. No, it's the other way around. Drildo was Spacebutt's Mark II. Wasn't it Spacebutts? I can't remember. Mia put the words on the side. I can't remember.
One was a 5-letter word.
That was space.
Yes, and the other one was a 4-letter word, and it messed with the symmetry, and I had to do something.
So it must have been Spacebutt rather than Spacebutts. I don't remember why it got that name. Certainly wasn't me who named it something so crude.
Yes, of course it wasn't you.
Wasn't it?
No.
Was it either? Wasn't it either Boris or?
It certainly it sounds like a
An
Boris
Anubis.
thing.
No, Space Butt sounds more like an Anubis name rather than a Boris
actually,
name.
yeah.
Boris would call it something sloppy and sloshy.
Yeah, Boris would sound much more organic. Bernie says, was it us who called it? It might have been chat. Named it the space, but
Oh, it might have been.
but I wasn't the person who painted Spacebutt on the side of it. That was me.
I like
don't
letters.
remember what it was that inspired you to do that. Or who gave you the inspiration for the name? I can't remember. Because I didn't really have much of a thing for naming my ship. I'd name all of the stuff inside it, and I would name it different. Oh, hang on, that unknown signal's quite close. And I would name it differently to like a base or something, but I tend to call it ship because that was the function it needed. This is the ship thing. This is the ship assembler. So, or big ship and little ship. It was definitely Chat who called it the Drildo. That was in the... Let's see. So we had the adjacency in Season 2. So it was season 3 we had space buttons, season 4 we had dildo. Yeah, that was Chat who did season 4. Where did I see that signal? Oh, there. Okay. Sal, any plans on making a planetary dildo? No, fed up with the planet. It's so it can fly in and out of gravity and also land and take off on planets.
She isn't, I might, because I want to eventually return to the mean.
Oh, maybe the mean. Because
Wait, is there a mean? Because I could have swore that there was an Almoon.
There is an Almoon at the moment. We're going to take back the motherland. Hold on. At the moment, there is an Almoon. Then I want to take back the Almoon as the mean. Then we'll have a whole Civil War storyline, and in the end, we make up, abolish slavery, and call it the Almeen.
so our idea, well, when I say our, I'm quite happy floating around space in my train. But sure, I'll join Mir on the Almeen. But yeah, we're going to set up on the opposite
believe-
pole.
Yeah, I was gonna say I believe I have a big ball of icing around here somewhere.
Was that a pun?
A little bit.
Yeah, we were discussing which sort of slavery to abolish, because first
What?
we need to introduce it. At the moment, slaves are a very scarce resource. We can only import them from the Mirth, but that would be us. So we can't have that. And the only other habited planet around here is Mars.
Mars.
And we can't! It seems a bit rude.
I was gonna say, but the Martians have guns and they know how to shoot back.
What they do? We don't have guns. Oh, from
They
the
have
distance.
Very, very many large guns.
Oh, heavens.
Oh, can I land on the reef and drop stuff in?
Yes.
I think the biggest
Yes.
the biggest problem is the distance.
Don't worry, we'll invent jump drives and then have some transatlantic slave trading. Oh, sorry, wait, I'm going too far with this joke.
Why are these conveyors not cargo containers?
Because metal grids are a scarce resource. Excuse me. You can reach a port from the front window. Front window. That's not the front. That's the back.
It's hard to tell. It's a
What do you mean it's hard to tell? This is the pointy bit, and here, if you go to the side, you can reach down into a cargo container like I
that's
do.
hardly the front.
It's the front. It's the pointy bit. The back bit's the one with the large bum thrusters.
At Cell, you so had a thing for naming ships. You spent your whole first solo series naming ships after YouTubers. That's true. That's different. I wasn't naming the ships for practical purposes. I was naming the ships after people who had inspired me to do what I was doing. And Terry says, Sal, do you want to drill the Almoon from under Almond? Oh, don't give me your ideas. Potato says, knowing Mir, the planet will get blown up when Almond doesn't surrender and declares war on Mir. And Guido says, it's in the front. See, the pointy bits. Classic. Yep. I remember I named my first platform, well, because I did the Ode to videos, and I did an Ode to Muckluck, who was the first ever Let's Player I watched. Then I did an Ode to the Merry Gamer, who I've been watching. I've played so much since with Merry that I can't actually remember what it was he'd inspired me to do. And then
Didn't he start off on a Mac?
he did,
Didn't
yeah.
he have to overcome a lot of.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Didn't he have to overcome a lot of issues to do it?
Yeah. I can't remember if that was what I was so inspired about, though. Oh, I was going for hydrogen. I also did an ode to Good, an ode to Etho, and an ode to Avidia. The ode to Good was about space engineers because it was watching Good playing space engineers that got me into it. And it was because of watching him playing, well, him and the bunch of others playing, that I realised I couldn't wait any longer. I had to buy a game-worthy computer. So I spec'd up my first computer, or my first... Because I'd had gaming computers in the past, but I'd fried them all, so I was without a computer. I was sans gaming computer for a couple of years. I'd got really desperate. I was playing things like Farmville. I mean, it was that bad. But then when I saw Space Engineers, I realised I just couldn't wait any longer. I had to play that game, and so I specified. Yeah.
Wait, aren't you telling like Boris's current story right now?
Oh, is this yeah, this is Boris's current story, isn't it? This is exactly where Boris is now.
Is.
Indeed. Yeah. But I did, I spec'd my entire first streaming computer. When I specified it, I based it all around what I needed to play Space Engineers. And I'd done... when I was picking it all out and it says, do you want to... do I need to stream? And I was like, no, I'm not going to stream. Does it need to play in multiplayer? I was like, no, I'm not playing multiplayer. All I want is something where I can do single player, solo playing Space Engineers. No streaming, no rendering, none of that nonsense. My computer was delivered on the 3rd of October. On the 26th of October, I'd made my first stream. I had completely changed my mind in that time frame.
Inventory full.
And now she's known for changing her mind quite frequently.
I was gonna say, isn't that all women?
Ooh, shots fired.
A little bit. I have had experience with women occasionally. So.
I have experience with women.
Occasionally.
Bernie says, because Space Butts was such a practical name. And Guido says, is this why ships are female? Because they have pointy bits? Potato says, fried? Care to tell us about that? It was before, when I couldn't really afford a decent computer. I would get the sort of the best graphics card that I could afford and the best CPU I could afford. And I might have skimped a little more than I should have on things like cases. I'd go for a cheaper case and maybe a cheaper power supply. I'd get... water cooling was completely out of my reach. Because we're talking now... 10 years ago. Well, probably when I specified the computer that I last fried. But it was... Yeah, so I had a series of PCs where the thing that would generally go wrong on them first, before they become obsolete, I'd have cooked them. Because I'd be playing games on them that they just weren't really capable of playing, and so they'd overheat. And Eiscing, I got a feeling you might be muted because it's suddenly gone very quiet on the Discovery. Oh, you're right. Okay.
He's a respectful person.
Story time with Belle. I know it's a rare thing sometimes, but I try to be.
Guido
I'm trying to figure out how to use Windows, which takes all of the concentration.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Guido says, try being married for 17 years. I have no clue about women. Wives, yep, I'm good at. Bernie has posted a picture of a JPEG saying, here is your ore of the day. I go and sneeze. Potato says female. normally most ships are named male because most designs are knob-shaped.
I believe Waz called that out on the ship that I had on my single player world. And no matter what I seem to do to it, that's all I can see. Really makes you hate him sometimes, doesn't it?
But yeah, so that was how come I ended up frying my old computers. So when I got my last PC, which was like, right, this one is a gaming PC, that's all it does, and no expense spared on the cooling. I'm getting the best cooling, the best case. I did all the research and stuff. And I was absolutely determined that this computer was not going to be cooked. It was cooked, but it took a lot longer to cook it. It lasted for several years.
Well, I mean, so long as you actually get several years out of it,
Yeah,
that's pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah. It'd have been, well, I was going to say it would have been obsolete anyway, but I'd already started replacing the bits. It'd gone from an i5 to an i7 and knew this and knew that and knew the other. But
See, with me, I think I had a bit of a bigger jump than you because I went from the quad-core Phenom 2 straight to the Ryzen 7 1700 for
Right.
like streaming and stuff. Which
Yeah.
is part of the reason why I grabbed it. Was I heard it did very well in streaming, and now here I am.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I always try to go overpowered rather than bare minimum.
Yeah. Well, now that when I spec'd up this computer, because the last one just got so crashy, I thought it was that point in time where it was time to stop upgrading and to just buy fresh. And I'd spec'd it completely around streaming and recording and gaming. So it was like the cooling system that I went for was the best cooling system I could find. That was a silent cooling system, which is really nice, and it cools as well as my old cooling system, but it's silent, which is really nice. I don't have the sound of an aircraft in the background like I used to have.
And more importantly, it enables this double-sided window thingy. Woo, woo, woo. You probably shouldn't do that on a stream that's making people dizzy.
Yeah, so we've got computers now where we can both play and stream at the same time. So it's really nice. We've got two PCs with i9s and the graphics cards, the 1080s, and they're both on the silent running stuff, silent running cooling and stuff like that.
Are we playing Elite Dangerous now?
No, why?
Sorry.
What?
Was that
Silent.
an Anubis reference?
Oh, silent running.
Yeah, it's...
Sorry, this is.
Oh.
I don't know.
Sorry. I just wanted to gloat about the fact that I do know an Elite Dangerous reference, everybody. I'm part of the Anubis Cool Kids Club.
Oh.
Yeah, Elite Dangerous just really didn't do it for me at all.
I've been getting into Star Citizen.
Oh, I've not tried that.
And it's somewhat similar to Elite Dangerous, but it has like the first person of space engineers backed by the Cry engine. So you have a lot of the first person shooter genres, and the really beautiful like sceneries and stuff like that. But you can't build or anything like that, and it's definitely a more shooty oriented, shooting,
Right.
battle combat stuff like that. Although they do have the cargo ships, they have the mining, just like Elite Dangerous did. They have a lot of stuff that they do. but it's only just now starting to look like an actual game. So, that's it's take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
You
Potato.
want to give it a little bit of time.
Potato says, Mia, isn't that a bit close to the thrusters?
What?
I don't know. You placed something. It'll have been a minute ago. You placed something very close to the thrusters.
Oh yeah, I've got a thruster there.
I'm a bit
Thruster jam.
odd when it comes to shooter games because something which is I was going to say intentionally where shooting is its main thing, but that's not true. Tom Clancy Recon, loved it. I loved getting into like playing army with Boris and Apple, and I really enjoyed GTA when we go on a heist together. Like my speciality was shooting helicopter pilots. I used to love it when, especially once my PC started getting a bit too framey for me to be able to drive a motorbike very well, because I like the motorbikes rather than cars. My favourite thing was to be the person on the back of the bike who would shoot at the helicopters, because I could always snipe the pilot from the back of a bike.
So, you know what I'm hearing
What?
right now? Sounds like Roberts might get two copies of the game out of you, because I'm imagining that you're going to need a co-pilot or a pilot, one of the way or the the
Which
I do plan on
game?
doing some,
Sorry, I missed which game you were
Star
talking about.
Citizen.
Oh, okay. Go on. Why?
It's actually what I would call a game now. But
All right.
when you mentioned like GTA, it's a bit more vast, but it has some of the similar concepts of I think it's GTA Online is what they call it.
Yeah.
But in space, as
Okay.
well as like yeah, think of it's almost kind of like you could almost say it's like a GTA in space, because you can steal people's ships. You usually shoot them and blow them up, but you have they have hover bikes. They have rovers that have turrets that you have to sit and mount. You can get large ships that, like capital ships, where somebody has to fly it, and somebody, you might have 2 or 3, well, anywhere from like 1 to however many turrets. So somebody can be in a turret shooting people while somebody's flying the plane, and somebody else can be shooting people, and I mean, it's definitely getting there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not what it's only taken them. Hang on, my watch is broken. I can't even remember how long they've been working on this, but it's been a while.
Right.
Quite a while.
Yeah, I read some complaints about the fact that they seemingly were only out for the money at this point to just keep the flow going.
Well, I mean, they've done an impressive job of actually like making the game to a point where it's almost a game now, but it's still not. They're still doing the early access thing, kind of like Space Engineers did.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they eventually get around to it, I don't mind. But at the moment, it's not tickling my fancy.
Right.
Potato says, so
Right.
Sal, any taste for Borderlands 3 where it has 1 billion guns?
No, we don't. It's on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah. Borderlands never really did it for me, and I can't explain what it was about the shooty games that I did like, and why I like those when
You like
most I don't.
things like Tom Clancy's whatever it was, Ghost
Yeah.
Recon, and GTR sniping out helicopters because you like tactical shooters. Borderlands is more of a arcade shooter.
RPG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So did you ever play Arma then?
She did not.
No, I don't think I
Ooh.
have.
Ooh.
It
You wanna
is-
talk about tactical and shooter.
It is definitely a tactical shooter, yes, but It's a very realistic
sense.
simulation.
But then you
Yes.
probably wouldn't have put me down for Ghost Recon, would you, Mia?
The old ones, yes.
Really? You'd have seen that as being something, or you'd have expected me to.
Not expected to, but I can see it happening.
Okay. A loot and shooter. Potato says it's not going to stay on the Epic Store.
I know it's not going to stay on the
But for
Epic
a
Store.
year,
But for this year,
For
it's
a
going
year
to
it will
be
be.
dead for me. Like all other Epic Games exclusives. I don't mind waiting.
Have you?
Oh no, don't you dare! Don't start this! This is the one thing I might make an exception for, and I don't want it to nag on me.
Yeah. So I have opinions, and they are not the same as Mia. Mia has opinions, and they're not the same as mine.
Yes, but mine are the right opinions.
Well, no, I think your opinions are the wrong opinions, Mia. So I understand why Epic have to do what they're doing. I understand their business model.
them too. I just don't really want to go into it.
I don't think it's a bad thing for Steam to have some competition, to be quite honest.
Yes, I agree with that. That's a lovely thing. And let them keep doing their exclusivity deal thing. It's just, I, as a consumer, would feel like I'm being played with here, and I don't like that notion, and consequently, I'm taking my business where I want to feel nice about what I'm buying, and at the moment that's just not the Epic Games Store, so I'll remain stubborn. I don't desperately need the games they're offering. I've got a whole library of Steam games that are just fine.
I'm kind of getting a bit desperate for Satisfactory.
Sure, don't make me get the newspaper.
You can't bap me over wanting an Epic game. That's
Oh, watch me, I can. Sure, I might get evicted and die when I'm living outside in the cold gutter street.
I wouldn't evict you just for bapping me with a newspaper over Epic. Epic versus Steam discussions are the new Star Trek versus Star Wars discussions.
pretty much.
What? No, the new Star Wars are all rubbish.
Well, maybe it is. See, I'm not. I'm a fan of Steam, and my preference would be for all of the things to be on Steam, including Minecraft and Dwarf Fortress, two other games that I play on non-Steam platforms. But I won't rule. I wouldn't go out and buy hardware. I say that having just bought an i9.
That's different. The i9 is compatible with your entire already existing Steam library. And it does more than just... I just mine these rocks for myself.
Yeah, no, they were despawning as you were mining them. You were mining so much at once that they were despawning. So I started picking them up.
Oh, you drilled into the other hole.
I know, it's funny, isn't it?
No, it's very confusing. Carry on. You're not buying dedicated hardware.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy a console to play a game. But I don't mind having a separate login on another platform to play a game. That's
As long as it's
not
on the same, yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's on the same hardware. Because that doesn't feel too much of a inconvenience for me. I would have preferred it if it was all on Steam, to be honest. But I do like some things that Epic are doing.
But then again, there's some other things that I'm not very happy with on Epic. Like, for example, their extremely poor security. You can get your account hacked and it'll take ages for them to get back to you. And in most cases, you need to start some sort of public outcry to get anything achieved.
They'll have to
And they're owned by
change that,
Tencent
though.
Gaming.
And that too.
They're owned by who, sorry?
Tencent Gaming. One of the top 10 biggest companies in China, I believe it is.
Ah.
Yep. And yeah, there's been controversies with some of their
spyware.
some of the companies that they own having spyware and stuff built into the phones. Like Huawei, I think Huawei is a subsidiary of Tencent as well. So yeah, it's an interesting conversation.
And there is, I could understand the benefits to a foreign government of not so much the spyware, but if you could put Trojans into gaming PCs, I mean, that's a hell of a lot of processing power.
Mm-hmm.
If you can hack gaming PCs.
And there was a company that was rumored. I have no, it's not confirmed or anything. However, one that has played with me on called Escape from Tarkov. And for a while there, it was rumored that that was actually a Bitcoin miner.
Right.
And that was because the launcher itself took up an enormous amount of resources.
Yeah.
While just the launcher was running, not to mention the game or anything like that.
There was
you
having
you need to. Yep, you have to go. I guess your stream is 15 minutes over.
Oh yes, it's break time.
Bernie, yeah. Bernie came to my stream to notify you.
Oh, we've kind of
Bernie.
been ignoring our chat.
Well, no, I've been looking up at chat.
Don't worry, we can carry on talking. In the meantime, we'll cycle streams, but we'll remain live on Eiscing's end. See you in a moment.
Oh, we're doing another one, are we?
What, are we not?
Okay, yeah, I'm